Skynet has sent a Terminator back in time. In doing so, they've created a new timeline. The window to follow won't stay open long. And once it closes,
then the chance to follow the Terminator into this timeline will disappear.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We're reviewing Terminator Zero, and we're on episode 2. And for the most part, I'm really enjoying the second episode. The second episode was a lot better than the first. The first one for me, I've already said it in my previous video, that I felt like 20 minutes of the show or the episode was slow with a lot more boredom in it than anything else. Episode 2 is definitely better than episode 1 in the fact that it is not as slow-paced as the first episode was. To me, the first one just seemed like 20 minutes of slowness with more boredom than anything. And I understand that they were trying to introduce the characters. But here, we're learning that Inko is sent back in time from the Resistance. The Resistance and the leader of the Resistance, they call her the Prophet, sends her back to 1997 so that she can stop a Terminator who's already gone back in time to stop the Terminator from killing Malcolm Lee, the inventor of an artificial intelligence called Kiku. As she steps into the time portal, the Terminator that she battled in the first episode appears and just shoots down everyone in the time displacement chamber. Once the time machine begins, all she can do is watch as her friends are annihilated by the Terminator. The animation, as I said before, is decent, but my problem is not about the episode itself. It's about the action. The detail in it is, again, the animation is amazing. But when you're trying to watch a Terminator movie in an animated format, for me, it just doesn't work. And now compare that to the live action version of almost the same scene. Now look at that same scene again. In my opinion, there is a major difference between live action and animation when it comes to the shock and awe effect. Regardless of how someone feels about the previous Terminator movies, you cannot deny the fact that the visual effects in a live action film are way better. Terminator is just one of those movies where animation, I just don't think, does it any justice. Or what about this scene right here where a truck goes on the bridge and smashes right into the Terminator? Now, compare that same scene that we just witnessed with the truck smashing into the Terminator to the one that we get right here in Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. There is a major difference between live action and anime when it comes to scenes like this. And Terminator, in my opinion, just doesn't do this thing justice. Anime, I don't think, belongs with Terminator. As for Malcolm himself, he's kind of a jerk. I understand that he thinks his artificial intelligence could be a good defense against Skynet, but after being attacked by a Terminator, he sends the maid to go find his kids while he goes off and goes talk to the artificial intelligence again. Let's talk a little bit about Kiko here. Malcolm's artificial intelligence. He invented her so she could defend humanity against Skynet. We learned that one of the things that she was sent back in time to do is stop Malcolm's artificial intelligence from basically going online. She's a real threat. And the theory that I can come up with on this one is that one of two things. One, Skynet does not exist in this alternate timeline that they're in, and that Kinko here is just using Malcolm's fear and his dreams to help her take control, or Skynet and Kinko wind up hooking up online and globally take over the world. From all the information that we've seen in these last 2 episodes, it reminds me a little bit of another movie from the 60s, Colossus, The Forbin Project.
This is the voice of world control. I bring you peace. It may be the peace of plenty and content, or the peace of unburied death. The choice is yours. Obey me and live, or disobey and die.
The story is about an artificial intelligence created to defend the United States from Russian attack. But Colossus learns of another artificial intelligence created by Russia and demands to speak to it. Once the two talk to each other, they become an unstoppable force that takes over the entire planet. Kaneko asks an honest question here. Throughout the history of man, everything that has been made to help mankind has one way or another been turned into a weapon of mass destruction. And she asked the question, isn't Skynet the same thing? You invented it to help mankind, but it turned against you. And why do you think I want to help you? Maybe humanity does deserve to die. Terminator Zero is an interesting story, and I think it's getting better each episode. But as I said to you before, when you watch some of the fight scenes between the Terminator and the humans, it just doesn't look good to me. When you compare it to live action versions of the same stunts and fights, it just doesn't have the same shock and awe. And I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on this, as well as what you think of the series so far. So please drop your comments below and let me know. And until the next time, my friends, God bless.